There's no question about it. Spring, summer, or fall, the jerk bait, like the shadow, is a bait you need in your tackle box.
Hey, this is one of these rare fall days where the air temperature is pushing around 50 degrees. The water temperature is quite a bit cooler than that. And there's not a real bad wind, and Jimmy and I are going to do something we love to do. We're chasing smallmouth bass, and we're going to be catching a whole bunch of them on a jerkbait. One of our favorite ways to catch them, especially in a lot of different environments, not only cold water. We're going to talk about cold water, warm water, spring, summer, fall. One thing about jerkbaits, smallmouth eat them all year long. A rarity, warm weather, James.
Yeah. You know, up here in the North Country, we actually fish from ice out to ice back on again. A lot of times we're fishing in water temperatures when it's actually in the 30 degrees and the air temperature is below 30. This is one of those times it's really critical to maintain your equipment, and what we do is we use sea foam and add it to your fuel to minimize ice up problems so you don't have fuel issues when you're running around. A lot of times throughout the cool water period, I'm musky fishing, it's cold, we're talking snow. Today, we're hunting for smallmouth bass with one of my absolute favorite baits, jerkbait.
Ooh, they ought to be going with this warm snap. Woo. You're running like that, it ain't quite as warm as
no,
it looks.
Gets your
Once I get to running, I can feel that little nip in the air. Woo.
You know, jerkbaits are one of those lures that we have tied on if we're smallmouth bass fishing every time you go out on the water. It doesn't make any difference, you know, and that's not true with a lot of different fishing lures. But jerkbaits and smallmouth bass, you have one tied on spring, summer, or fall. Oh, there's one. That didn't take long. Big brownie. Look at that dog. Beautiful fish there. Ooh. Not a real biggie. Nice one, though. As we were saying, you know, jerkbaits really work on a seasonal basis, and not a lot of other lures do that. And one thing that's really key about a jerkbait is the fact of how you can actually manipulate the speed of the bait. Because, you know, when you look at it spring, summer, or fall, we really fish this bait dramatically different as far as a retrieve goes. Come here, buddy. He's a fat little guy. Come here, buddy. Yeah, I'm gonna need the pliers for that little guy. Come here, buddy.
Back at you. There you go. Yeah, that's the thing with a jerkbait.
There we go. Not a biggie. Nice wide body, though.
It's a floating piece of junk, or is that
Where?
right in front of you?
There. Oh, I just had one. Darn. I just had one. There he is. It's long pause. There you go, Al.
That's
There's
a bull.
That's a biggie.
That's a bull.
Look at that boy. Come here. Whoa.
Oh, man.
You can see he's starting to get a little cool. He's
That's
not
a big fish.
bending as much as he.
Got a double.
Oh, there you go.
Got a double.
Whoa.
Oh, both big, Jim. Look at them. They're both playing together.
Yeah.
Look at that. Boy, yours is big. Look at that.
Come here, buddy.
Oh, he's got one really big fish. Mine is just a real nice one. Who gets theirs in first?
This guy here, you gotta be sort of delicate with these guys. Come here, buddy. Oh, come here. Then with these guys here, I'll do the belly scoop. Look at that guy there. What a beautiful smallmouth. Look at that thing. Gorgeous. There we go. There we go. Oh, there we go. I need the pliers. It's one thing, jerkbait fishing, you never go without a plier. Several of them in the boat is key. Oh, come here, buddy. There we go. Real fine wire hooks. Gorgeous smallmouth. Look at that thing. Beautiful. And Elle's got a carbon copy. We'll get her back in the water. There we go. Look at that thing. Boy, is that a beautiful bass. Look at that guy.
Oh, I got her too. That's no slouch. I would say James's was about a pound bigger than mine, but this is a pretty darn good smallie by anybody's standards.
First one. Oh, big one. Look at that.
Why take chances with your engines? Protect them from neglect, wear, and tear the easy way with Seafoam Motor Treatment. Seafoam helps to maintain top engine performance by removing harmful deposit buildup from your engine and fuel system. Control moisture in gas and diesel. Stabilize fuel for up to 2 years and lubricate your engines to start easier, run cooler, and last longer. Trust all your engines to Seafoam Motor Treatment, the choice of mechanics for over 70 years.
There's no place like this.
I can't believe it, and it's huge. Hey, you remember when we were hanging out last night? You know, me, you, Gail.
That's my girl.
You guys are awesome. And then you went to bed.
I was tired.
You were super tired. And then it was just me and Gail.
Mm-hmm.
Alone.
What?
Yeah!
It's all in the paws. New Shadow Wrap from Rapala.
Closed captioning provided by Seafoam Motor Treatment.
I would say James's was about a pound bigger than mine, but this is a pretty darn good smallie by anybody's standards. You know, one of the rules, not rules, but observation, yeah, you know, we fish these smallmouths all over the country, north, south, east, and west, lakes, rivers, reservoirs, and have for years. And some of the things we observed, number one is the clearer the water, the better the bite, the reaction bite for jerkbaits. Yeah, you know, you get real dark stained water and they don't bite it that good at all. You need a little bit of clarity. And like I said, clearer the better. And it is amazing the different kinds of actions that you can impart in a jerkbait based on the season, from warm water to cool water to cold water. And this particular bait, this is a new bait from Rapala, and it's called the Shadow Wrap. And this thing does things that I've never seen any other jerkbait do as far as triggering fish to bite it. What triggers fish into biting? Is it color? Shape? What about sound and vibration? Or maybe a combination of all of these? Hey, what about action? I think this is one of the biggest determining factors that triggers a fish into seeing a bait and then making a commitment to strike it. The Rapala Shadow Wrap has taken the word action to a whole new level. Here's the idea behind the bait. Make a lure that's imitating a dying minnow's last kicks of life, giving a fish a simple meal. For the most part, fish are generally in a neutral mood, So having a bait that can turn a neutral fish positive is a real game changer.
This bait here has really super fine wire hooks, and boy, does it get them. No question about that. There we go. Look at that thing. That's a big smallmouth. Look at the size of that dog. We'll get her back in the water. These guys are really feeding up. I'll put her back. Aren't they? They're just amazingly beautiful. Look at the size of that thing. Come here. You know, Rapala has made a couple of different jerkbait configurations, one of them being the X-Rap, which is absolutely, bar none, one of my absolute favorite fishing lures for a wide variety of different fish species. The thing is one thing that's different about the X-Rap versus the Shadow Rap. Number one, the X-Rap is a floating bait or suspending bait. It actually has positive buoyancy. The Shadow Rap is actually a sinking bait, and it also has a flat configuration. What this bait does is when you pull it in the water, it has like a wiggling action, and then when you kill it, it actually tips head down and starts to sink, almost mimicking a minnow that's in distress. And that's one of the design characteristics that was built into this bait. It actually comes in two sizes, or I should say lip configurations. This bait here will run about 4 foot. The one Al's been throwing, it runs to about 7 foot. So I've been actually casting up a little bit shallower. Al's been working around a little bit deeper off the ledges with it. But we'll get back out there and see if we can get another one here.
Actually, this bait fishes deeper than 7 feet. You could fish it 7, 8, 9, 10 feet down. It is a slow sinking bait. And you just got to have a little bit of patience. And it's incredible how little you have to do with the rod to make the bait work. I mean, you can almost fish this thing in place. The slightest twitch with the rod and that bait, in many cases, you can make the bait do a 180 right into the fish's face. It's got so many unique attributes, from the dying flutter to the 180 where it reverses into the fish's face. These are all triggering factors. That bait doing something completely different triggers these fish to bite in a wide variety of conditions. You can fish it super, super slow and just barely touch that rod, and it's responsive. It's really something to see.
You know, jerkbaits really work in such a wide variety of different fishing situations, from natural lakes and rivers, reservoirs. Right now we're actually fishing a reservoir, and these fish are sort of going to be coming down and actually gathering in their wintering holes. This is one of our favorite spots to fish smallmouth bass, because you have tremendous populations of big fish gathering together in a small spot. But as I was saying, I mean, jerkbaits are just really a highly effective bait that work in so many varied conditions, you know, over big weed flats, over rock flats, over ledges in reservoirs, you know what I mean? When the fish are suspended, that's the success of this bait, because they work in so many different varied conditions. Come here, buddy. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here, buddy. Pop that out. Ooh, he's just sort of nipping on it. Not a biggie. Nice brownie, though. We'll get her back. Al's got one, too.
You know, you start popping so many doubles like this, it's really, really fun. That happens later in the season and early in the season when that water gets cold like it is now. Yeah, you know, and a lot of the key to fishing this particular bait, the Shadow Rap, is patience. You'll get more bites by barely moving the bait. Now, you got to know you're on fish. Like in summer where you're jacking this thing up and moving it really fast, that's a different story. But in this cold water, you'd be amazed at how many fish you get by just the slightest twitch, and you come off of that ledge. In this case, the top of this ledge that we're throwing to is about 5, 6 feet of water, and it breaks to about 12, 13 feet. And as soon as you know you're off of that edge, you just leave that thing sit there. And all of a sudden, bam, bam, like we just had a double, and I threw quite a distance in back. I was 30 feet from where he was at. I don't know how many fish are on this ledge. You know, we fished this system before, and they use this. This is one of the many ledges that they get down in the winter months. But this style of bait for smallmouth bass is absolutely incredible all season long. Yeah, you know, if you're a bass fisherman, a smallmouth bass fisherman, you got to have these minnow type jerk baits like the shadow wrap and the different varieties of them, you know, in your box. They're not, these smallmouth are not like a largemouth, where the minnow bait, this minnow shape on a largemouth works best in cool and cold water. You know, this thing works all season long on these brown bass.
Right now the water temperature is 48 degrees, and what we're doing is, you know, giving the bait rips and, you know, intermittent pausing in, you know, maybe 3 to 5 seconds. You know, when it's water's real warm, we never let the bait hesitate for more than a second, and you're fishing it almost like this. Pause, really fast, and imparting a really lot of fast, erratic motion into it. And when the water's up in the, you know, 65, 75, 80 degree range, when the water's real warm. So, but there is a lot of different various retrieves. A lot of times when the water gets real cold, you're fishing real super slow.
Ooh,
there you go. That's a biggie there, Al.
Oh, man. Whoa.
Whoa.
For years, they've quietly taken you where the fish are. But now the silence is about to break. With the incredible new iPilot Link, your Minn Kota and Humminbird can communicate with each other, so you can hold on a spot like an electronic anchor. Record and return to waypoints and paths. Follow any Lake Master depth contour, and more, all automatically and all from your Humminbird or the Link remote. They talk, and you'll be speechless.
In fishing, nothing beats the confidence and enjoyment that comes with using the best equipment. There's a reason why generations of professional anglers, guides, and camp operators make Lund their boat of choice. They stand up to the elements and the repeated use that hardcore anglers put them through, season after season. They're guide-tested, wilderness-proven. Isn't it time for you to experience the Lund difference?
We've made our name helping anglers unlock the water's hidden secrets. Hit the switch. It's time to reveal even more. AutoChart Live gives you the power to build your own high-definition maps anywhere in the world in real time. Because when you know the unknown, you can do the unheard of. AutoChart Live, only with Onyx, only from Humminbird.
The Edge is presented by these and other fine sponsors.
Whoa.
Whoa.
You know what happened?
No.
The fish just threw the bait. Oh no, I thought it was snagged in the side. It looked like he threw the bait and got rehooked in his side. I'm not sure. When he came up, he came flying out of the water. Let's see. Oh no, the hook, one corner's in his mouth and the other
tail
hook
hook's in its mouth.
is on the side, yeah.
I know, it's got those little bit finer wire hooks on this bait. Boy, does it get them, boy. You just lift up on there.
Don't. Come here, baby.
He's yours.
Come here, come here, come here, come here, come here.
Most of the time we use quantum smoke rods and reels, both in spinning and bait casting. They got all the actions we need. The Smoke PTs have a few new wrinkles that are really interesting. Have you ever picked up one of your rods and forgot what pound test was on there? Well, not anymore. Both spinning and bait casting have a line weight indicator. This is super slick. In this case, we have the dial set on 10-pound test. They have updated all the Smoke rods with braid-ready guide frames. What does that mean? How about this? It helps eliminate wind knots and tangles that come from braid fishing. And the rods are lighter and more durable than ever.
You know, it's interesting when anglers fish rod and reel combos because it's actually based on what their preference is. It's interesting in the northern portion of the country, a lot of anglers fish jerk baits on spinning rods. If you go down south, it's the exact reverse. The majority of bass anglers will fish a jerkbait on a bait casting rod. One of my favorite combinations is a moderate soft action rod. This is a Smoke 7 or 6'9" soft action rod, spooled with 832 line, 10-pound test with a fluorocarbon leader. This is 10-pound fluorocarbon, 4-foot shank of fluorocarbon leader. And this is a Smoke Speed Freak reel, which is a really tremendous line pickup. It's 6.2 gear ratio, so it's really, really fast. But this rod and reel technique for me, for jerkbait fishing, is the right rod and reel. For other people, they may prefer what Al is fishing, a bait casting rod.
I'm jerking with a Smoke 7-foot, a medium action rod, straight fluorocarbon on here. And this is a Speed Freak bait casting reel. Guess what they mean by a Speed Freak on this? It's an 8.11 retrieve. Man, I can pick up line on this baby. That means way more casts in a day, and when you gotta move a bait, you can really move it fast. And I would do that in some cases in summer. So this is a new reel from Quantum, and we're really, really enjoying that pickup in a lot of cases, whether it's open face or, or bait casting, whatever your comfort level is.
Some might ask, well, why would you want a really fast action reel? And the answer is sort of simple. Realistically, anytime you're fishing with a lot of slack line fishing techniques, whether it be jigging or fishing a jerkbait like this right now, I actually have 3 feet of slack line. A lot of times I'll see the strike, I'm sweeping the bait down, and I pick up the rod tip so you can see my bow in the line, and I'll actually see that white line actually jump, and that's where the strike happens. That means I have to pick up 3-4 feet of line real quickly to set the hook.
Oh, that feels like a better one, James.
It's out on that deeper ledge.
Yeah,
there you
I'm
go.
just actually pulling.
You got that deeper diving bait. If I pull
I
off
get this
a little
rod,
bit.
I got that deeper diver, and Jimmy's throwing up on top, and if this ledge breaks like this, and I was actually throwing out there, just almost basically trolling with it.
Mercury engine test.
Toughness you can rely on. It's good to have Mercury behind you.
Hey, you remember when we were hanging out last night? You know, me, you, Gail.
That's my girl.
You guys are awesome. And then you went to bed.
I was tired.
You were super tired. And then it was just me and Gail.
Mm-hmm.
Alone.
What?
Yeah!
It's all in the paws. New Shadow Wrap from Rapala.
Mercury engine test.
Latest 115 horsepower in its class. It's good to have Mercury behind you.
The Edge is presented by these and other fine sponsors.
Oh. Look at that guy there. There you go. Another great big one. Oh.
Ooh. He likes to play.
Another real whippersnapper. Come here, buddy. Look at that guy there. Ooh, another pretty one. Come here.
There's so many different kind of jerkbaits, and they've been on the scene for a long, long time. But every once in a while, and these fish have seen a wide variety of them. But this bait, with the unique action that's built into this thing, it's a different wrinkle. They took something that was really good and made it just a little bit better.
Here, buddy. There we go. Come here, buddy. Look at the size of that one there, Al. That's another beautiful. Look at the size of that guy. Real big, wide body. There's no question about it. Spring, summer, or fall, the jerkbait, like the Shadow, is a bait you need in your tackle box.
In 2003, my brother Ron and I wrote a book titled First Light on the Water. And it's a story of our faith and a whole lot of things that have happened in our business relationships, and how our stand on God's Word all worked out in the end. And it was a very successful title. And it's been sold out for some time now. And recently, the folks from Harvest House contacted Ron and I to do an updated version on First Light. And we're working on that right now. A lot of it will be parts of what was in this book, but we're adding a bunch of new chapters to it. And I just completed one of the chapters. And it's titled, There's No Atheists in a Foxhole. And it's my story of my first experience in Vietnam when I got under fire. I was in country, a 20-year-old kid. First time I'm in country. We were in just a short period of time, and it was the first time that I experienced a mortar attack. And I jump into a part-finished bunker. I mean, we didn't have 4 or 5 sandbags layered on it, and just me and one other guy, 2 of us in there. He's a Marine. And he's in one corner, and I'm in the other corner. And I hear him, all of a sudden he's looking up into the sky, and he's cursing God. And he's saying things. Now, I don't have much faith or a belief in anything about the Lord to any extent at this period of time in my life. But this was the first time that I cried out from my heart and know that I called out to God for help and meant it. I was 20 years old. And I said, Lord, I got nothing to do with this guy. I don't want to be here. You bring something down on him. I don't want to be a victim of circumstances. Forgive me. I don't want to be in this mess. A series of a very simple prayer, but you know what? It was meant from my heart, and it was the first time that I consciously know that I asked God for help. I came to him with a prayer of meaning from my heart, and it worked. And thank God for that. I had to share that with you. I get into a little more detail in that chapter in the book. Hey, from all of us here at The Edge, you have a good, safe fishing season. We'll see you on the water.